So, Ian Gary responded to Jack Della Maddalena's comment about Ian Gary's stepson not being his son, which is technically true. So, for Ian Gary to get upset with him for being technical and accurate with his English vocabulary seems uncalled for. Here you see his quotes. It's immature. When I fight him, I'm going to open up a whole can of irritation. What? Man, I get the general message, but it's not even catchy. And it's not immature. It's just a fact. He is not your son, he's your stepson. Or perhaps, depending on your viewpoint, he could be your son, but also your stepson. Just depends on the person who's commenting on it at the time. It's not wrong to say he's not. Next, over here we have John Jones caressing a willing man against his chest. As Guru said, looks like there's nothing behind his eyes. One thing I'm noticing right now, John is pretty blinged out. Got a lot of gold. Looks kind of sick. I like it. What's up with this dude that he's holding? What's his deal? This is pretty suspicious. Especially when you're in Thailand and you got all that other tail running around. Been out here in Thailand enjoying life, stuffing my face every day, and I swear I'm losing weight somehow. The quality of food here is amazing, so delicious, so clean. Now, normally, since I've been to Thailand 4 times in my life, I would say that this is accurate, but since John Jones is the one saying this, I don't know what he's referring to when he says he's been stuffing his face. When I hear him say that, I think more along the lines of this. Creepy. And then further down we had, what here? I need this to go to the scorecards. Jason Herzog. This guy, Jimbo J, is saying exactly what all the intelligent people in this space were thinking in this moment, even if you wanted Henry Cejudo to lose. What Jason Herzog did here seems suspicious, illegal. He completely ignored the rules, and instead of just calling an end to the fight due to the illegal strike from Song Yadong, he purposely started the next round just so he could wave off the fight and not have to DQ Song Yadong. Now, why did he do this? Jimbo J's right, he should be investigated. And why has there been no investigation? Has anybody asked Dana White why he does this dude, Jason Herzog, wear an earpiece in the cage when he's reffing? Because I don't see one at the moment, but they make those things pretty tiny, so does he have someone in his ear telling him to do this? This is ridiculous. Next, Darren Till promises to get his revenge and KO Jorge Masvidal. I guess I could see this happening. I would like to see it, but whatever. Next, Eric Nixon passed UFC commentator Paul Felder some money on camera during the broadcast for UFC Vegas 106. Did somebody lose a bet? Who is John Felder? Is that his brother? Or is that just a fan page with a similar name? Joke name? Yeah, but this behavior seems illegal. You see him pass off the money. He just tucks it and lets it fall to the ground, shakes his head. And what does Bisbing do when this happens? He just laughs it off. Or did he even see it? Doesn't look... I'm not sure he even saw it necessarily. But someone should look into this or ask him why. There's an exchange of money during a UFC broadcast. After, I assume, Eric Nixon just finished cornering a fighter. I'm not sure if he was cornering a fighter or not, but just the situation is weird. Next, Ali Abdullah. This fat mother needs to stop eating and go to the gym. He should not be watching any sport or talking about any sport. He's not qualified. Well, who are you to say who's qualified to talk about a sport? Are you qualified? You used to compete. You attempted to be a fighter and you weren't good enough to be one. So are you allowed to talk about a fight just because you're a manager of the fighters? Maybe you should just manage their contracts and their deals and shut up about the fights. Just deal with the money. So why is this guy not allowed to talk about the fight? That's ridiculous. You just don't like what he's saying and you're trying to discredit him because this dude has a valid point. And his point is that Islam is ducking and he's not fighting Ilia Topuria. During IFW, I don't know what that is, but we know that Islam is moving up to fight Jack Della Maddalena instead of Islam. So you're telling me that fighting a 170 champion who just won the belt, has no defenses, won it against Belal Muhammad? Who did Belal Muhammad win? I know he beat up Leon Edwards. Is that who he won it from? Did Belal even have any title defenses? Seems like this welterweight belt is just being passed around. It's being passed around like Nina Drama. So I think he has a very valid point. Most of the real fans would rather see Islam fight Ilia Topuria, who seems to be extremely dangerous. They have a similar opponent. Ilia showed Volk viciously. And what did Islam do in their first fight? He arguably lost. And like I said in one of my past videos, when these Dagestanis get into close enough fights, they just always seem to be gifted the decision. And then their second fight where he knocked him out with a head kick, well, good, but Volk took it on short notice. So there's a hair in that soup. And then also Ilya KOing Max, something that's never been done before out of how many of Max's fights. So everybody knows that should have been the fight to make. You're not fooling anybody by going up, defeating Jack. Belal should have wrestled. He didn't wrestle. Didn't try hard enough with his wrestling. So I totally see Islam just going up, putting on more weight, just wrestling the whole fight. And he's going to get an easy victory. Right here, we got the Island Boys fighting. Kind of silly, but they're going at it. Whatever. And then this was some very good commentary. Here, he's talking about John Jones being a master manipulator. He's a master at mind games. And yes, he's been doing it many years against the best guys. John Jones does not care what Tom Aspinall wants. That is true. He's a master at emotionally exhausting people and mentally exhausting people. You can see it in Tom Aspinall a little bit already. He's starting to get tired. That's kind of true, because when you see Tom Aspinall, or you hear him talk about the fight these days, he's kind of just like saying, oh, I don't care, I just want to fight. I'll fight anybody. So if this is a tactic by John, then I guess I'll give him some kudos. But at this point, you would think that John Jones has to fight Tom Aspinall because he hasn't vacated the belt. We know Tom is deserving. He defended the interim belt, so that's the fight to make. And for them to have not announced it yet is very strange. And John gains nothing from this. Everybody knows what's going on. As people say, it seems like he's holding the belt just to gain the record for the longest heavyweight championship. He won't be fooling anybody except the casuals, because he beat Cyril Gahn, who didn't put up a fight. He beat up Stipe Miocic, who he waited forever to actually fight the dude when he was already old. Was in 4 years. And then when he finally got in there, Stipe was way too old. But he had the wins, he had the notoriety. That's all John wanted. So he cannot play with Father Time and wait for Tom Aspinall to get old. That he can't do in this scenario, since Tom is much younger. So I don't see what John's plan is. I hope they fight. I honestly don't. I'm not sure if it's even gonna happen. Next, Javier Mendez says John Jones won't accept the fight unless he's confident he can win. I would agree with that statement. He doesn't like to lose, doesn't like to go into fights. He's such a winner in every aspect of what he does that you're not going to push him into a fight. If he doesn't feel like he can win that fight and doesn't have a good advantage, he's not going to take it. That's true. But Aspinall is one of those. Do you really want to take this fight? I think the UFC is going to have to put a lot of money. Yes, that seems to be the case. Ali says Charles Oliveira is not deserving of the title fight. I would agree. So you should have told your fighter to stay down there and just defend the belt. If he's so good and can beat him so easily, just take the fight, beat him up, then go fight Maddalena. And Islam's afraid of Ilia Topuria, is not afraid of Jack. Well, there's less risk because he's going up. So if he does happen to lose, which I don't think he will, he'll just say, oh, well, I moved up. It's not my division. He's not afraid of Charles. That makes sense. Dustin was up there in age. Perhaps you're not afraid of Arman Sarukian, but Seeing Arman was not able to go into the second fight in their rematch, which is his own fault. So, wish we could have seen that fight. Moicano, yeah, makes sense. You're not afraid of him. Dan Hooker makes sense. Justin Gaethje makes sense. That dude can't wrestle. The B already showed. Jeez. Whoever posted this is definitely on Islam's crotch. Daniel Cormier responds to John Jones, who said he would beat him at heavyweight 2. I'm retired, I'm done, I'm 46, I'm washed up. How about this novel idea? How about fight the dude that's actually waiting to fight you? That's a good statement. Why is John even still talking about Daniel? Supposedly still in the fight game, so talk about the fighters who are there who want to fight you. Since one is defending 2 times, cleaning out the whole division? True. Islam only defended the belt twice, and one is against Moicano? True. That doesn't even count. Ugh. One of Dana White's quotes, it's a great quote. Oh gosh. Conor McGregor sharing more training footage. Ever since he moved up to fight Nate, in particular the second fight, completely changed his style from that point in time. And he never went back to what got him to the gold. Now he just like plots and stalks and fights heavy, tries to fight with power. And it's a shame. Even if he felt that's what he had to do with Nate in the second fight, after that fight, he should have, even if he wanted to stay up in weight, he should have tried and stay light on his feet and loose and just like a feather. But he's a completely different fighter now. And it's not the same one that rose to the ranks, that captivated the audience. Ariel Helwani. I don't know why I saved this. Tom, this is one of the examples where Tom does show that he's getting tired of this whole situation. Whatever. Anyway, that's it. Jose Aldo's done. Poor guy. What could have been, right? If the UFC penalized fighters like Batista, who just clinch and hold the other fighter against the fence and then give him the win. That's unfortunate. I hope sometimes that fighters who do that, like Batista, I hope that Batista's next opponent decides to just dedicate his whole training camp to clinching and holding his opponent against the fence, just to do it to him so he can get the win. And if everybody started doing things like that, I think the UFC would eventually be like, wow, this shit is getting boring. Everybody's starting to do this. It's not just this one guy or these 2 guys. We need to do something about this. Anyway, that's it for this recent anime news that I've watched and I wanted to comment on. My prediction video will be posted within the next couple days. I got a couple more fights to look at. See y'all later. Share and subscribe if you support. I appreciate everybody who takes the time to watch my videos. And see you later in the week.